Tze Fong, maybe you can share with us, what's your name, what do you study here in ATU?
Yep, so my name is Tze Fong Lim. I'm currently a third year medical science student at ATU Galway. My previous education background was I did A-levels during my pre-U, and before that I was doing SPM in a Kebangsaan school. So the reason why I kind of chose ATU and Ireland in general is because Ireland is one of the English-speaking countries in Europe, and the way they deliver their content and kind of university stuff is through English, which is what I was looking for, as well as compared to the UK, it's cheaper and also more affordable and within my budget. And why ATU is because I've always wanted to work in the laboratory, and being back home in Malaysia, I'll probably be studying in a biomedical science degree. But over here in Ireland, I'm doing a medical science degree instead because this degree is accredited by CORU. CORU is basically the body that regulates medical scientists. So you will have to be an accredited medical scientist to work in a hospital laboratory. So for students studying biomedical science, they aren't allowed to work in a hospital laboratory. They can work in a lab, but not hospital ones, because of accreditation. They're very strict on that, because in hospital you'll be working with patient samples, you're working with vulnerable people and all that, and you want to avoid anyone who isn't competent enough to work in there. Whereas for medical science, you are trained to be competent enough to work in a hospital. You're trained to deal with patient data, patient sample. You're trained to deal with the ethics, conduct, and practices that you need to adhere by to be an accredited medical scientist. I'm not too sure about that. I've heard people talk about it. People find it as an entryway, but I think most people over here in Ireland that do that, they end up they only manage to skip like 1 year of their full medicine program instead. So I'm not very 100% sure about it. Yep. Also because it gave me more kind of roads for my career. I could either choose to work in an industry laboratory, with a pharmaceutical company, or I could go down the road of a medical scientist of working in a healthcare laboratory, or I could also continue my postgraduate or my PhD. But I think what also brought me into ATU is because of the mandatory work placement that you are required to do. So as medical scientists, especially third year, which is the year I'm currently in, we are required to do 1,000 hours of work placement. So you will have to meet that requirement throughout your degree in order to graduate to be a medical scientist. And I think because right now it's very hard to find internship for a lot of degrees and stuff like that, and fortunately enough, my internship is paid. The government will subsidize some of our, when we are working in a hospital doing our work placement. So it's nice to, not be able to worry about too much things. So for work placement, your lecturers will go more detail into it, but in general how it works is you'll be given a list of hospitals across Ireland, and you will have to pick your first option, second option, and third option, and depending on your grades and the availability, so you might not get sent to the options that you want. So for example, if you did poorly on your second year, you might not be able to get to a very famous place that you want to work, that most students want to work at, because your grades, there are people who are better grades than you, so it depends on your grades. So I have no idea yet. The lecturers will let us know coming the next few weeks, but I'm hoping to be able to stay in Galway because of accommodation, and accommodation is a pain to kind of secure now, especially because of accommodation shortages and stuff like that. So I don't want to worry about that. That's why I prefer to stay in Galway. So initially when I came to Ireland, I thought I might have some challenge adapting to the local students here and being part of the culture, but I realized that because I personally don't like drinking as much, I found out that you don't need to drink to be able to make friends here. The people here are nice enough. Sometimes they may peer pressure you to drink or do alcohol. You don't have to give in to their peer pressure, and you can still be very good friends with them. Some of them, we study together, we do projects together, and sometimes they invite me over to their house to eat dinner for Christmas, Halloween, stuff like that. It's just general great fun, even without the alcohol. So don't feel pressured into giving into peer pressure to drink and stuff like that. You don't have to drink to have fun. I think that's a lot of misconception people have when especially coming to a country like Ireland or Europe. And also I think it's important, another challenge I probably faced was the cold. I think most students coming from Malaysia will face this challenge, but you kind of adapt to it over time, investing in a good waterproof shoe, a good coat that keeps you warm, not using the heater whenever you need it. That's all kind of, you pick it up along the way, and the international students here will give you tips and help you out with that as well. So that's really, really nice. So personally, for me, I enjoy meeting people from all across the world, because I think that's just more fun. Since I'm out of the country already, I might as well meet people from other backgrounds and get to know them, but there are opportunities to meet other Malaysians because the Malaysian community in Dublin is very thriving because most Malaysians there are studying UCD, RCSI, and there's a very active committee called Malaysian Student Association in Ireland. I previously was one of the committee members there where I helped out with some events and projects. That's one of the ways you kind of connect with Malaysian students. But like over here in ATU Galway, there are quite a few Malaysian students here. You will probably bump into them while you're here, and most of them are friendly enough to help you out with things. Like, for example, when I first came here, our senior took us in and brought us into town and to help us get set up with our life here. And they also gave us some recommendation on jobs and what not to do and what to do because, they have the experience of living here already, and they are also very willing to help us get through it as well. So I think it's really, really nice to have that. Kind of, in a way, yeah, because but it's kind of different because I'm also the Senior International Student Ambassador. So my role in general is to do that. So I don't just focus on Malaysian students, I focus for all incoming international students, no matter where they are from. So I think that's something I kind of came to like to do, So for me, this program started off during my first year. You first start off as a volunteer, an international student ambassador, and you kind of host events, plan events together with other student ambassadors. And then after that, during your second year, you will be sent an email to apply for a job. This job is a senior ambassador program. Senior ambassadors, like my position that I'm currently doing, where you are paid to do work with the office. And I think this is a very great opportunity because you get to develop a lot of skills. Like you get to plan kind of inductions, PowerPoints, you work with the office staff to organize events for students, you work with the students, the international student ambassadors who are voluntary programs to, kind of teach them how to kind of navigate their way through, because some of them may come in at first shy, but like as they go along with the program and they do more and more activities and stuff like that, they kind of grow out of their shell and then they kind of mature, if you will. So that's kind of the same for me as well. I came here I was kind of shy initially, but like through the International Student Ambassador program, through like talking with classmates, through participating in society, I kind of outgrew it and became more sociable, and just kind of more relaxed around people and more confident in myself. And I think that's kind of important, especially during university, you'll be given a lot of presentations and stuff like that. And like even at work, you might be asked to give a presentation. So I think like this kind of communication skills, teamwork, leadership skills are developed throughout the ISA program, which is short for the International Student Ambassador, and also while working as the Senior Ambassadors, because as a Senior Ambassador, you have more responsibility. You have to juggle between your classes and your work. You also have to lead the International Student Ambassadors to do things, and you have to collaborate with other, staff in the university, like the Students' Union, Student Service, or even any staff in the office. So I think it's a great opportunity for your career development. Not only because obviously the pay is nice, but
How much is that?
I can't disclose that because of it's definitely above minimum wages, and it's also handy because you wouldn't need to travel to your workplace and back and stuff like that. So for me, I started working when I came here, so like it was really nice to not having to spend 1 to 2 hours just to travel between my work and my home. And like the good thing is you get to have Saturday and Sunday off. So for most Malaysians or most international students here, they will come to classes Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends they will work. And I did that for my first year. Didn't really enjoy it, but I needed to do it because of living expenses. Personally, wouldn't recommend working while studying because you miss out a lot in terms of social and everything. So I think this job really helped with that. I got more chance to talk to people, socialize during the weekend, and rest. I think that's also really important. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I also sports. So one of the sports that I do is I go to gym and I like running. So for gym, I go to the gym near the ATU. This gym collaborates. It's called Kingfisher. It collaborates with the university and gives student discounts. So I pay €250 for the entire year, and I get to use the gym however much I want. And the nice thing about the gym is it comes with a pool. So if I want to go swimming or anything like that, I can go for it. So I think it's really nice because especially during the winter where it's cold outside, you don't really want to do any form of sports in the cold, in the rain. The gym is nice because it's heated. There's treadmills, there's weightlifting machines. It's very well equipped, and there's even a pool as well. So I think it's a very good place to kind of work out and get all that energy out. And also for clubs and societies, I joined the International Student Society. So at the ISS, they host events, organize programs for students. They also organize trips for students. So these trips, obviously you have to pay, but they try to subsidize as much as they can because they contact agencies and they get discounts for students. So it's really nice program, and like they have karaoke nights. Sometimes they have poker nights, but no real money used, just fake currencies, and board game nights, donut night, pizza night. So like they host all kind of activities, and I think all international students coming in should participate in that. And in addition to that, I also join like the badminton club here. So the badminton club is 1 to 2 hours every week, and you get to meet other students from other countries who are interested to play the sport as well. So that's just kind of my involvement with the university. Aside from that, I also go, I live with my housemates, and we kind of have regular activities together, such as board game nights and stuff like that. As you meet more international students and more friends, you kind of get busy, so you won't really necessarily be stuck in the library all year round. Only during final season, then you get busy in the library. So yeah, it's not too bad, because my program is quite intensive. So last year was really, really tiring. So, but I try to make it work. You kind of have that balance, or else you will just kind of burn out, and then especially winter comes and there's no sun, seasonal depression is a very real thing here. Not to scare any of the new students coming, but you have to really take care of yourself and balance your life, so you don't fall into a hole and nothing good happens there. Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to make any comparisons because I've never been to Dublin that much. But for Galway, I think it's a really nice place. It's very different from where I'm from. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and Kuala Lumpur is a very busy place. There's always traffic and everything. Everyone is rushing to get their things done. But in Galway, it's different. People come out at 6-7 p.m. to go for walks for 30 minutes to an hour, and it's very different from where I'm from. And I like that slow pace kind of change. It's very slow pace. You get to meet more people. People are more friendly. So that's kind of it. That's the main difference. Yeah. Yeah, I love it a lot, and I would like to stay here if I could. But the one thing that I probably wouldn't like would probably be the rain. But that's a small thing. You kind of get used to it as you stay here longer. Yeah, definitely. It's slower pace. People are nicer. People actually talk to you. When you're walking along the road, people talk to you. If you see someone leashing their dog, going on a walk with their dog, you can talk to them, ask if they can pet, if you can pet their dogs. They'll usually say yes, and then that's how you strike a conversation. You get to meet very nice people, talk to them, and it's just a very fun kind of atmosphere in general. Slower, smaller, things close earlier, not used to that, but I like it overall over Kuala Lumpur, where I'm from, because of the lifestyle changes.
I think it's quite an intensive conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's very fruitful and insightful as well. So maybe one last question for you.
Okay, I think this is a very big question, because it's coming over here is a very big decision. I've made that decision myself, but I think it's important to know what you want. If you're coming to Ireland thinking to work while study and do that for long term, I wouldn't really recommend that, because you're not really enjoying, because you're only in university once, and I think personally you should be enjoying that. But even if you work while study, that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. If you manage to balance your work life and study balance well, you will be able to enjoy still. Take myself for an example. Although I missed a lot in my first year, I still try my best to make time. You can always make time. That's something you kind of learn along the way. Time management skill is important, and I would highly recommend anyone thinking to come to Ireland in general, because you probably never heard of it before, and someone is just telling you to come here. And ATU, and initially when you see Galway, it's such a small place compared to where you're from, and you might be a bit pushed away by that, but I think you should give it a chance, because it's very different here. It's very nice, a lot of nature. Go on hikes, go for runs, explore the city, explore the country. It's really, really nice. And I think one other thing is, if you like traveling, it's a very nice place, because if you manage to get a summer job or job here, you can save up a lot and you can travel Europe for very cheaply. I spent about 40 euro on my flight to Spain back and forth during summer, so that just tells you how cheap it was. Although 40 euro, if you convert to Malaysia ringgit, it's 200 ringgit. It's quite a lot, but if you compare to flights going to Thailand or going to Taiwan or anywhere else, it's really, really affordable. So if you there's a lot of things you have to consider, but if you have the chance, I think you should give Galway, Ireland a chance. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem.